This enemy has three weapons: darkness, spells, envy. All three are silent. All three are lethal. By the time you realize the attack, you've already been harmed. But there is a shield. Surah Al-Falaq. 5 verses, 3 weapons, 1 protection. Hello. Today we're going to examine Surah Al-Falaq, the 113th chapter of the Qur'an, in the most detailed way possible. This chapter consists of only 5 verses, but it contains the formula for protection against all external threats. Surah Al-Falaq was revealed in Mecca. Together with Surah An-Nas, it is known as Al-Muawwidhatayn, meaning the 2 chapters of refuge. But there's a very important difference. Surah An-Nas protects against internal threats, whispers, negative thoughts planted in the heart. Surah Al-Falaq, on the other hand, is a shield against external threats, darkness, spells, envy. What does the word falaq mean? Falaq means the breaking of dawn, the tearing of darkness, the end of night and the beginning of light. Think about it. Even the darkest night will eventually reach morning. This chapter is exactly like that. No matter what darkness you're in, no matter what threat you're under, a morning will come, a light will rise. And that light comes from seeking refuge in Allah. There is a very important hadith in authentic sources about why Surah Al-Falaq was revealed. A Jewish man named Labid bin Al-A'sam had cast a spell on the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. What kind of spell? He took some of the Prophet's hair and a comb he used, tied them in knots, and threw them to the bottom of a well. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, became ill for a while and began to forget some things he had done. One day, Allah showed him in a dream where this witchcraft was located. The companions went to that well and retrieved the spell. In the narration found in Bukhari, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had the knots untied, and as each knot was untied, he recited verses from Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas. With each verse recited, the Prophet's illness lessened. When the last knot was untied, he completely recovered. This is exactly when Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas were revealed. These chapters that break spells, dispel darkness, and repel envy. So how did the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, use this chapter? It is narrated in Bukhari and Muslim. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, relates, whenever the Messenger of Allah went to bed, he would cup his hands together, recite Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas, blow into them, and then rub his hands over as much of his body as he could reach. He would start with his head, his face, and the front of his body. He would do this 3 times. Also in authentic sources, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would recite these 2 chapters 3 times after the morning prayer and after the evening prayer. From Uqba bin Amir, may Allah be pleased with him, the Messenger of Allah said to me, every morning and every evening recite Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas 3 times. This will be sufficient for you for everything. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would also recite these chapters for his grandsons, Hassan and Hussein. He would pray,
أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة.
I seek protection for you both in the perfect words of Allah from every devil, from every harmful creature, and from every evil eye. And he would recite Al-Falaq and An-Nas. You see, these chapters are not just theoretical knowledge. They are a protective shield that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, constantly applied in his daily life, in his nightly routine, and in protecting children. Now let's recite the entire chapter.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
The English translation. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak, from the evil of that which He created, and from the evil of darkness when it settles, and from the evil of the blowers in knots, and from the evil of an envier when he envies.
Now, let's examine each verse one by one.
Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak. The first verse shows us the method of protection, seeking refuge in Allah. But notice, it doesn't say, I seek refuge in Allah, but rather, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak. Why? Because daybreak means the breaking of dawn, the tearing of darkness and the emergence of light. Here, Allah introduces Himself with the attribute of the one who creates morning, who turns darkness into light. This is a very powerful message. Even the darkest night has an end. Morning will definitely come. And you are seeking refuge in Allah, who brings that morning, who tears through that darkness. So do not fear. Ibn Kathir says, daybreak is the initial state of everything Allah has created. The light that comes after darkness, the wakefulness that comes after sleep, the existence that comes after nothingness. Allah is the one who creates everything, who turns every darkness into light. Al-Tabari adds, this chapter was revealed especially for night fears, unknown dangers, hidden threats, because all of these strengthen in darkness and weaken in light. Carry this metaphor into today. When you're depressed, everything looks dark. When hopelessness overwhelms you, it feels like there's no future. But remember, every darkness has a morning, and you are seeking refuge in Allah, who brings that morning. From the evil of that which He created. In the second verse, there is a general prayer for protection. We're saying, I seek refuge in you from the evil of everything you have created. This is a very comprehensive statement. Humans, animals, jinn, natural disasters, illnesses, a request for protection from the potential harm of everything Allah has created. But here's an important question. Why would Allah create evil? The scholars explain it this way. Allah did not create evil, but He created the capacity to do evil. For example, fire is a blessing created by Allah. You warm yourself, you cook food. But the same fire becomes evil when misused. It burns. A snake is a creature created by Allah. It takes its place in the ecosystem. But if it attacks you, it becomes evil. Humans are Allah's most honored creation. But when that person becomes oppressive, does evil, they become evil. So, evil is not absolute, it's relative. Allah created everything with wisdom, but we're asking for His protection from the misuse and harm of those things. Fakhr al-Razi says, this verse shows the scope of seeking refuge. Seek refuge in Allah not only from dangers you know, but from all dangers you don't know, that don't come to your mind. Think about today. Viruses, bacteria, microbes. We don't see them, but they exist. Accidents, dangers, unexpected events. We seek refuge in Allah from all of them. And from the evil of darkness when it settles. In the third verse, the first specific threat is identified, Darkness. The verse speaks of darkness, the night. When it settles means when it descends completely, when the darkness of night covers everything. So why is darkness dangerous? Physically, you can't see at night. You can't notice dangers. Predatory animals are active. Criminals, thieves operate in darkness. Human nature fears darkness. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, says, this refers to the night. When night darkens completely, devils spread, harmful creatures come out, evil people roam. But scholars have other interpretations too. Some scholars say this darkness could refer to a lunar eclipse, because ancient Arabs considered lunar eclipses ominous. With this verse, it's emphasized that one should seek refuge in Allah even from this. Hassan al-Basri says, this refers to poisonous animals like snakes and scorpions that come out of their holes at night. But the most common interpretation? The darkness of night when it completely settles. Now, let's look at its metaphorical meaning. Darkness equals the unknown. The future looks dark. You don't know what will happen. This uncertainty creates fear. Darkness equals hopelessness. A person in depression says, everything is dark. There's no light, no way out. Darkness equals ignorance. Ignorance is darkness. Knowledge is light. In modern psychology, they call it dark night of the soul, when a person is in the deepest crisis, in the darkest period. This chapter is protection against that darkness too. And don't forget, when it settles, even when darkness completely descends, even the darkest moment is temporary. Morning will come. Daybreak will come. Darkness is not eternal. And from the evil of the blowers in knots. In the fourth verse, the second specific threat, witchcraft. The verse speaks of the blowers in knots, those who blow on knots. This refers to those who practice witchcraft and spellcasting. So what does this mean? In the pre-Islamic period and during the Prophet's time, peace and blessings be upon him, sorcerers would work like this. They would take a rope, tie knots in it, blow on each knot while saying spell incantations. Then they would hide or bury that rope. According to their belief, the spell would take effect on that person. The spell cast on the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was like this too. Labid bin Al-A'sam took the Prophet's hair, tied it in knots, blew on it, and cast a spell. Now, an important question. Is witchcraft real? According to Islam, yes, witchcraft is real, but its power is limited, and it cannot harm anyone without Allah's permission. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 102, it is clearly stated, they learned witchcraft, but they could not harm anyone with it without Allah's permission. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, witchcraft is real, and Allah has expelled the sorcerer from Islam. That is, practicing witchcraft, going to a sorcerer, believing in spells, is disbelief. But here's what needs to be understood. Witchcraft being real doesn't mean every claimed spell is real. Most people who go around as sorcerers today are fraudsters. They make money by exploiting people's fears, hopelessness, and ignorance. They deceive people saying, a spell has been cast on you, I can break it. In Islam, the solution to witchcraft is not more spells. The solution is seeking refuge in Allah. That's what Surah Al-Falaq is for. Imam Malik says, the strongest weapon against witchcraft is Al-Mu'awwidhatayn, Al-Falaq and An-Nas. Whoever recites these morning and evening, spells will not affect them.
Let's think about today. Blowing on knots equals manipulation. Someone is lying to you, deceiving you, clouding your mind. This is a kind of psychological spell. Blowing on knots equals deception. In media, in advertisements, in politics, spells are constantly being cast on us. It's not real, but it's made to seem real. Blowing on knots equals conspiracy theories. Seeds of doubt are planted in people's minds and truths are distorted. We seek refuge in Allah from all of them, and from the evil of an envier when he envies. In the fifth and final verse, the third specific threat, envy. The verse speaks of an envier, the jealous person. When he envies means at the moment when jealousy is active in their heart. What is envy? Envy is wishing for someone else's blessing to be taken away. When you see someone's success, happiness, or health, you say, "I wish they didn't have these." This should not be confused with admiration. Admiration is seeing someone else's blessing and saying, "I wish I could be like that too." But you don't wish for that person's blessing to be taken away. This is permissible and good. Envy, however, is forbidden and very dangerous. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, "Beware of envy, for envy consumes good deeds, just as fire consumes wood." In another hadith, envy eats away good deeds, just as fire consumes firewood. So why is envy so dangerous? First, envy consumes the heart of the envious person. They are constantly unhappy because they see a blessing in everyone and become jealous. They have no peace. Second, envy poisons social relationships. The envious person cannot bear the success of their friends and relatives. Relationships deteriorate. Third, and most importantly, envy gives the evil eye. That is, the gaze of the envious person can harm the person they envy. Is the evil eye real? Yes. It is clearly mentioned in authentic hadiths. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, "The evil eye is real. If anything could overtake destiny, the evil eye would overtake it." In another hadith, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saw a sick child and said, "The evil eye has afflicted this child. Perform ruqya on him." How does the evil eye work? The jealous person stares intensely at what they envy. Their eye and heart wish for that blessing to disappear. This strong negative energy harms that person. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya says, "The evil eye is like an arrow shot from the soul. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses. But when it hits, with Allah's permission, it causes harm." Envy has increased a lot today. Why? Social media. Everyone shares the best moments of their life. You look and feel jealous. Why isn't my life like this? Then you start feeling sad about others' happiness. This is envy. Competition culture. Constant comparison. Who's more successful? Who's richer? Who's more beautiful? In this environment, envy grows. Consumer culture. Your neighbor bought a new car, you felt jealous. Your friend went on vacation, your heart burned. This is envy. How do we protect ourselves from envy? First, recite this chapter 3 times every morning, 3 times every evening. Come under Allah's protection. Second, be humble. Don't display your blessings everywhere. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, "Seek help by keeping your affairs secret, for everyone who has a blessing is envied." Third, pray for others. When you see your brother's success, say, "Masha Allah," May Allah give you more. This both prevents envy and purifies your heart. Fourth, be grateful. Look at your own blessings. Compare yourself with yesterday's you, not with someone else's life. Now, let's step back and look at the big picture. Surah Al-Falaq mentions 3 specific threats: darkness, witchcraft, envy. Why these 3? Because these 3 have common characteristics. First, they are all hidden, insidious. Darkness descends silently. Spells are cast secretly. Envy is hidden in the heart. These are not open, clear threats. They are indirect, insidious, hard to notice. Second, they all cause indirect harm. Darkness doesn't harm directly, but it prepares the environment. Witchcraft has a psychological, not physical effect. Envy also forms within the person, but ultimately causes harm. Third, they are all beyond your control. You cannot prevent darkness. If someone casts a spell on you, you won't know. If someone envies you, you can't tell. That's why these 3 threats are specifically mentioned. And the single solution to all of them, Kul a'udhu bi al-Falaq. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of daybreak. Daybreak is the breaking of dawn. Like the morning light that disperses darkness, Allah also disperses all these threats. He breaks spells, repels envy, turns darkness into light. Fakhr al-Razi says something amazing about this. These 3 threats target 3 human weaknesses. Darkness targets the weakness of fear. Witchcraft targets the weakness of ignorance. Envy targets the weakness of pride and competition. And Allah gives a single prescription against these 3 weaknesses. Seek refuge in me. Look at today. Darkness equals depression, hopelessness, uncertainty, the feeling that the future is dark. Solution? Seeking refuge in the Lord of daybreak, the one who brings morning, who creates light. Witchcraft equals manipulation, lies, deception. Spells are constantly being cast on us in media, politics, daily life. Solution? Seeking refuge in Allah, the owner of truth. Envy equals social media jealousy, competition stress. Why am I not like this? Thinking. Solution? Seeking refuge in Allah, who gives blessings, being grateful to Him. Surah Al-Falaq is only 5 verses, but it contains the formula for protection against all threats that can come from outside. 3 enemies: darkness, witchcraft, envy. 1 shield: seeking refuge in the Lord of daybreak. Infinite protection: reciting this chapter every morning and evening. Even if darkness descends, morning will come. Even if spells are cast, Allah will break them. Even if there is envy, Allah will protect. Because you are seeking refuge in Allah, who creates morning, who tears through darkness, who controls everything. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "People cannot find anything better than al-Muawwidhatayn, al-Falaq and An-Nas, to seek refuge in Allah." Incorporate this chapter into your life. 3 times every morning, 3 times every evening. When going to bed, when darkness descends, when you're afraid, when someone envies you. And remember, even the darkest night will reach a morning. Daybreak comes, light rises. Surah Al-Falaq gives you this hope. It gives you this strength. May Allah protect us all from the evil of darkness, from the harm of sorcerers, from the evil of the envious. Ameen. While spending hours researching for each new video, every comment and every support from you gives us strength. Be with us on this journey. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like, and share. What did the message of this chapter awaken in you? How did it illuminate your life? Let's meet in the comments. Let's continue this journey of knowledge together.